Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, then hi, my name is Erica, and today I am going to talk about the Red Table Talk with Gabbie Hanna, which, as I'm going to get into in this video, it wasn't really a Red Table Talk about Gabbie Hanna. She was kind of a special guest, but not even like it wasn't like the Olivia Jade one where like it was all about Olivia Jade. It was mostly about Perez Hilton, but I still have a lot of thoughts on this, and honestly I'm kind of conflicted about it, which is why I kind of want to make this video to see what other people think of it. So if you don't know, there's a spin-off of the regular Red Table Talk with Gloria Estefan and her niece and her daughter. And yes, I had to look that up to know, because the only person at that table I knew was Gloria Estefan. But so she does it with her niece and her daughter. And so they were talking about cancel culture, and I had a lot of mixed feelings about it, because I felt like they pressed Perez Hilton so hard, but they did not do that with Gabbie Hanna. Gabbie Hanna was like on there for like 7 minutes, and she was basically just going at Perez Hilton for being misogynistic instead of like owning up to what she's done. So I thought that was pretty interesting that they had her on the show, and that was what happened. And one of the things that really bothered me was that they were saying cancel culture defines someone by their worst mistake, and it's gone too far, which, I mean, I know a lot of people believe that, but I also, like, this is not a Clockwork Orange. You cannot pin my eyes open and force me to consume Gabbie Hanna's content just because you don't think it's fair that I no longer want to watch Gabbie Hanna because her values don't align with my own. And I do understand, because when they had a professor on the show, and they were talking about how like people can lose their jobs because of cancel culture, and like, or they can like lose their platform. But here's the thing, and I guess this is kind of a controversial take, but nobody is owed a platform. Do you see my dog in here? Nobody is owed. Why do I keep almost saying owned? Nobody is owed a platform. Nobody is owed a specific job. And so if they do something, like say YouTube decided that I violated their terms of service. I don't think I did that, but like YouTube has a platform and decide we don't want her on this platform, we don't like what she stands for, and we don't want her to represent our platform. Whether you agree or not, it is YouTube's prerogative to be like, no, we don't want her on this platform, let's get her off of this. And I mean, to be fair, YouTube's one of those platforms, it's pretty hard to get kicked off of YouTube for bad behavior, because like, as you probably already know, people like James Charles and Shane Dawson and David Dobrik, like, they're still on YouTube. Like, yeah, Shane Dawson got demonetized for a short period of time, but, like, YouTube doesn't like to kick people off, especially people with big platforms that bring in a lot of revenue and a lot of viewership. But anyway, let's say YouTube didn't care about that and they cared more about, like, people's messages and their, like, and their image, I guess. But, like, it would be YouTube's prerogative to do that. I have no right to have a YouTube channel. If I abuse my platform, then I have no right to just have a platform. And I think it's really interesting. And this, I'm not being shady, saying I think it's really interesting. I really do think it's interesting that, and I think this is a phenomenon worth exploring. I don't know if I'm going to be the one exploring this, but I mean, it is worth thinking about and talking about and going in more depth about. But I feel like a lot of times the people who cry about cancel culture and say it's gone too far have been canceled, and I don't even necessarily like the word canceled, because if people stop watching your channel, it doesn't mean you're canceled. It just means a lot of people don't want to watch you anymore. And that might be because, oh my god, my dog's gonna fall off the couch, but it might be because of something you did wrong and they decide you no longer align with their values, or it might be they just grew out of your content, or it might be a little bit of both. But, like, and this goes back to the Hello Leash situation. Like, Hello Leash was so pro holding everybody accountable until it was her turn, and then now she's changed her tune and has said, well, now I have a much different perspective on things, and I even have a different perspective on commentary and whether I think it's a good thing or a bad thing. But it's like, for the most part, people who themselves have not been on that end of cancel culture usually do not, like, cry about it being such a negative thing. And it's like, but did your opinion change because you really do think it's a bad thing, or are you just upset that people are calling you out on your behavior? And I can't answer that question. I'm not in other people's heads, but I do think that's a question worth thinking about. Like, are these people, Perez Hilton, does he really think that people shouldn't be held accountable for their shitty actions, or does he think cancel culture goes too far, or is he actually just upset that he's being called out for saying terrible things about people and outing people for their sexuality before they are ready to come out? Because that's one of the biggest criticisms against Perez Hilton, is he's outed celebrities before they came out as bi or gay, or just basically any LGBTQIA identity. He's basically outed a bunch of different celebrities before they were ready to come out, and his justification is, well, I'm a gay man, so like I can't be harming the gay community. But here's the thing is, people coming out is not about you, it's about them. People come out because they want to be themselves and let other people know who they are. So you don't get to out somebody. If, like, and this is a mess of a video, but like, even something that's been bothering me lately was I've been seeing a lot of things about Shawn Mendes since him and Camila Cabello broke up, and a lot of people are making jokes that he's finally going to come out of the closet. And it's not okay to do that, because what if he is gay? Like, he's not out right now for a reason, for whatever reason. And also, what if he's not gay? Like, you really should not be speculating on somebody else's sexuality, whether they are a public figure or not. Like, that's their business. And if they are ready to come out and say, this is who I am, and then they'll do that. But forcing people to come out is a terrible thing. But I think it's so rich that Gabbie Hanna sat there with, I think her name is Emily Estefan. She's Gloria Estefan's daughter, but she sat there and was like, yeah, you're misogynistic because you're saying women's sexuality is much more fluid than men's sexuality. But I think it's so rich that you will sit there and critique somebody else, but you will never take accountability, Gabbie. And I'm disappointed because I feel like they spent more time talking about how both Perez Hilton and Gabbie Hanna were negatively affected by cancel culture than in talking about what they did to get canceled. Because like, you're basically just having them on their show basically crying and being like, I should be forgiven because this ruined my life and I lost money and sponsorships and friends and blah blah blah. Like, it ended up being like a sob story instead of like, and I think what the Red Table Talk is supposed to be is it's supposed to be about people having difficult conversations. But besides them pressing Perez Hilton on his misogyny and his outing of celebrities, like, nobody was pressed. Nobody had any difficult conversation. So I thought it was a waste of like 24 minutes or 27 minutes or however long it was, because they didn't really delve into any real issues. They didn't delve into like, Gabbie, why did you do this? You know, why have you been super transphobic and you won't respect people's pronouns just because you don't like them? Why are you ableist but then now you use your ADHD as a shield? So when you're being called out for ableism, you weaponize that. Why did you mistreat Jessie Smiles and you're still dragging her name through the mud all these years later, when she's begging you to leave her alone? Why did you go after Rachel Oates like that? Like these are real things she's done, and they may not be the worst thing in the world, but it's still pretty bad. So like, but the Red Table Talk totally ignored that. They're like, oh, we don't see that. Let's just talk about why cancel culture is bad. But I don't think, because if you're really having like a debate or something, shouldn't there be both sides of the argument? But there seemed to be only one side of the argument, and I thought it was very biased, and I was very disappointed. And that doesn't mean I'm gonna cancel Gloria Estefan or her daughter. I just think they wasted my time and a lot of other people's time, to be honest. But one thing I've been thinking about, and this is a bit off topic, this is a bit of a tangent, but I've been listening to like 2 different podcasts. One is called Boys Like Me, and it is about incels. Hopefully I can say that on YouTube. And another one is called White Hot Hate, which is about white SUPREMACY. And basically one of the questions that these podcasts ask that I don't have the answer to is like, if we shun people, like sometimes instead of stopping and realizing that they're doing something wrong, they'll go underground and become more radicalized, and they'll mobilize underground. So I'm like canceling people might do that, but it's like I don't know the answer to that, because we can't have people behaving badly left and right and not doing anything about it. But also at the same token, we don't want people then to be more emboldened because they see themselves as a victim, so then they need vengeance on people. And please don't think I am excusing any of that behavior, because it's not an excuse. But I do think that's a scary reality, that some people, if they're kicked off like YouTube or Twitter, or if they're outed for their bad behavior, instead of reflecting and stopping, they'll instead become even more radical and feel even more self-righteous. And I know that was kind of off topic, but it was just something on my mind. So comment down below what you think, if you've listened to those podcasts. And thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, I guess, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you have not already and you would like to see more of my content, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye.